Well, hello, DirtFish friends. My goodness me, shakedown has happened here in Sweden, which is good news because we kind of thought it might not happen because of the lack of snow and ice. But we had a really interesting shakedown. And David Evans, we know the Toyotas go well here. They go well here every year. But did we expect to see young Kalle Rovanperä at the top of the timesheets?
No. I don't. How could we have, Colin? Absolutely not. But equally, it is a bit of a lottery here, isn't it? I don't think anybody could actually definitively say this guy was going to go quicker or this guy was going to go quicker. But for sure, we just spoke to Kalle at the end there, and he just got into a really nice feeling. Perhaps the road's evolved a little bit. I don't know. I mean, the road will have changed dramatically from the first run this morning, but he just said it felt nice. But I mean, the thing to point out here, Cole, is that the time is not. It's a huge gap. 2.5 seconds faster. It's astonishing in a. Not the shortest of shakedown stages, but not a long stage. But that's it, isn't it? And ordinarily in a 7K stage, we're used to seeing the drivers split by tenths of seconds. This is a very big gap, but it is shakedown, and it's only the first of 2 shakedown stages today, of course. So no, I think certainly didn't expect it, but maybe we should expect the Toyotas to be as quick as they are. Historically, they've always gone well, this regardless of the conditions. And one thing that is quite confusing is we've talked a lot about no winter hasn't come this year. It is freezing sitting here, isn't it? It's chilly. You can see we've got our lovely DirtFish jackets on. We needed these today. But this particular bit of Sweden today right now is very cold. But whether we've got snow, ice or whatever the conditions, these roads are fast, very fast roads. And we know that the Toyota was made on really quick roads back in Puppula in Finland. So regardless of the conditions, the Yaris will be quicker. I think what was really interesting was that we have 4 Yarises in the top 6. We might have expected to see Jari-Matti Latvala in the top 6, but it's not. Katsuta-san was quick out there. Katsuta-san is good in these conditions. We know that. He's had plenty of time in the car around Puppula, as you say. He's gone very well in Sweden in the R5 car in the past. I think an indication of how well suited to the stages the Yaris was the performance of Katsuta this morning. But absolutely, it's also a lot of that with the Katsuta speed is about the comfort that the car's giving him and the confidence, because so much for a guy like him, it'll be very difficult to come and drive in these conditions where you're not sure at all how the tyre's going to work. And that's the big unknown, is going into somewhere. You don't test for these conditions. We talked about this on the way up this morning. A lot of the teams have complained a little bit about the fact that they haven't tested in perfect conditions. They all stalled their tests for a few days to wait to find out exactly what the conditions were going to be like, how they were going to do it. And then for me, they kind of got it wrong because they should have come where there was no snow. But they all seem to go further north and find some snow. But, there was never really any indication in the forecast that we were going to get heavy snow. So why not come and test here? But yeah, you're right. And if you look in the top 8, Latvala's there is 8. So that's 5 Toyotas in the top 8. That's pretty impressive. It's enormously impressive. Now, I think what was encouraging this morning, David, was the fact that there was no snow there. There wasn't a lot of ice, but the road stood up pretty well to the number of cars, the number of passes that we saw. It wasn't by any stretch of the imagination catastrophic. It was drivable. Yes, it took the drivers a little while to get used to the conditions, and we heard that in their comments at the end of the opening run, but they very quickly got into it, and the road, I think, was surprisingly good. But this is it, isn't it? It was -5, -8 overnight, and when we arrived here, I mean, it's still probably -3 or -2 or 3 now. If we can get those minus conditions, we're okay, because the roads will have been watered, and it'll be fine. It'll be okay, we'll get through, and that's great. The concern is that the temperature goes up as much in the daytime as at night, and then we've got plus. Sunday is looking difficult if we do get these plus degrees. But let's, I said it in a column yesterday, let's just stop pontificating. Let's just play it, as it is. Play the ball as it lies. I'm the king of pontification. You are. I love pontificating, but you're quite right. Let's stop pontificating. Let's talk a little more about Shakedown and the performance of the Hyundai team. Yeah. Craig Breen, the fastest of the Hyundais. Tanak just behind him. Is it? Oh, there's the boss. Look, he's looking at us. We're talking Hyundai, and just in the background, that is the boss, Mr. Adamo. Craig being the fastest, Tanak just behind him. Good to see Tanak back, more or less on the pace. Should we be concerned about the pace of Neuville out there this morning? He was a little bit away. Absolutely not. No concern whatsoever. You know, it's Shakedown. It's just an opportunity to it's a loosener, isn't it? Just to have a look, see what's around. No, I think, you know, the bigger question is what do the conditions do and how will they fare? You know, Thierry could be in absolutely the perfect position if we get sharp ice, good grip, or, you know, if we get some snow, it could be difficult for him. But, you know, from the forecast we've seen, he's going to be in a good place on the road. And that's all that matters.
This is going to be interesting because you're right, he will be in a good place on the road where there's ice. Where there's gravel, we're told there'll be a cleaning effect out there. Yeah. So the balance might be pretty decent. You know, we've seen in Sweden in the past, there's a massive disadvantage at times to be first, second, third on the roads. I think there could be good balance out there because those that are running down the order won't get the benefit of the grip on the ice, but they'll get the benefit of the cleaning effect of the cars in front of them on the loose gravel. So it could be tight tomorrow. Road position, it'll have a part to play, but maybe not a massive part.
No, I think you're right. And you know, yesterday, Rich Milner said to you that, you know, they're in a good place, and they are. You know, they've got
Have I got a snotty beak, by the way? It's the cold weather.
We may both have. I didn't know what to tell you. It's gone now. It's fallen on your jacket somewhere. But it's par for the course here in these conditions. No, you know, the running order will evolve as the weekend passes. But no, for sure, don't even look at the shakedown times today. We've talked a lot about Robin Perra. It's great, but it's shakedown.
Well, let's not look at the times, but let's look at the M Sport cars, and in particular Teemu Sunen, showing us just how easy it is out there for things to go wrong. It was a very strange one, very high speed left-hand corner, and the back end of the car just seemed to go away. He went into the trees. He was lucky.
I mean, did he really go into the trees? He kind of, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. He clipped a tree, didn't he?
Yeah, but this is the problem, you know. We've seen within 7 kilometres, we've seen the tyres are losing studs because in the areas where it's really aggressive and really abrasive on the tyre, you will lose the studs, and that has a massive impact on the level of grip that you've got when you come to the ice. And that, you know, this is something that we can't underplay here. And there is talk of another tyre zone going in on Friday and Saturday, because if these cars lose the studs when it comes to ice, you know, it's the trouble is it's not like Monte Carlo where you've had ice notes and you've got the gravel note crew, you know exactly where it's coming. Here you don't really, and it changes, you know, overnight, quite literally. And if you hit that gravel, that icy patch with no studs in the tyres, you're a passenger, you know, because you're coming in there in 5th and 6th gear. In Monte, you know what it's going to be like because you're ready for it, because you've been pre-warned by the ice note crew. Here it's completely different, and that for me is one of the concerns, is that the guys are going to lose studs. And I'm not saying that's what happened to Teemu, but it's quite possible.
It is quite possible, it really is. But we'll wait and see. That is an evolving story. This whole rally is an evolving story. As you mentioned there, David, we have a second shakedown this evening. What was due to be the opening stage at the Karlstad trotting track, now effectively a second shakedown. So the first competitive stage is tomorrow morning. You know, we'll talk later on. We're going to do a preview of the rally. But David, it does look encouraging. We mentioned it earlier. It is cold today. Tonight, -8, -9 degrees. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we get a good day's rallying tomorrow. It is very possible that we will.
Let's keep our fingers crossed, and also let's...
Our beaks clean.
Yeah. But let's say a massive, massive congratulations to Glenn Olsen and his team, you know. Those guys, and not just Glenn and the boys, you know, at the top of the tree, the motor clubs, the marshals, the volunteers who are standing out regardless. You know, they're out there putting the stages together. They don't want to be putting stages together with no snow, but they're doing it, and they're doing a tremendous job, and they deserve a huge amount of credit and thanks from the championship.
No, I totally agree. Glenn Olsen and his team, as David mentioned, right from the top to the bottom, one of the most professional, experienced teams in the WRC. Boys and girls, you are doing a fantastic job, and we are here to support you, and we are here to hopefully enjoy a wonderful, wonderful rally. David, shakedown for Toyota, exceptional. Is the rally going to be exceptional for Toyota? I get the feeling it probably is.
Let's talk about that later, shall we?
Let's talk about it later on. Thanks for joining us for our shakedown review, DirtFish friends. We'll talk to you again later.